We're wrapping up the reseal of the lower unit of our starboard engine this week on Small Boat Big Ocean TV. Small Boat Big Ocean TV is brought to you by Howie T Sport Fishing, Bob K Marine, and Salt Weather, the ultimate marine forecast app. Hey everybody, welcome back to Small Boat Big Ocean TV. We're picking up this week with the water pump installation, but before we get to that, I want to let Bob tell you a little bit about his business and what makes Bob one of the best mechanics on the East Coast.
I started with Belks Marine in Ridley Township back when I was a kid along the Delaware River. I worked there till I was 27. It was a small place and I wanted to do other things. The 80s hit. Everybody was buying a boat that, you know, there was money available to buy boats in the 80s, for, quite frankly, for people that had no business owning boats. But and I went with a Boston or a Bayliner dealer. We were selling so many boats that they had a night shift, and I was in charge of the marine department. And there was guys rigging boats at night. We were selling that many boats back when Bayliner started. You know, with when they started back. Yep. And then in 1994, you know, Mercury bought Bayliner, so that came, you know, pre-rigged with all Mercury. Yeah. You know, before that it was Force, Chrysler product.
So when did you become like? When did you get your master's, your master mechanic?
When I was 26, 27. I got it at Belks Marine.
Okay. So how long? So geez, that you've had it for.
Yeah, I was actually certified outboard in 1980 and certified Mercruiser stern drive in 81. And always kept up my certifications no matter where I worked. I worked for Everglades dealers, I worked for Boston Whaler dealers, Monterey, Glastron, Lund, Low, Aluminums, Crestliner.
And then when did you start? When did you open, Bob K Marine Service? How long has that been?
That was kind of thrown on me. I was a service manager, head mechanic of an Everglades dealer. We sold Everglades, Glastron, and Monterey, and we sold Crestliner aluminum. And in 2008, when the economy crashed, the owner of our dealer, he had 3 locations at that time. Ended up with a couple $1 million worth of product on the lot that we couldn't pay for. So we had to wind the company down. And while I was helping them wind that down, I looked for a shop so I could continue. So I ended up going on my own and staying in contact with other dealers, you know. But it was a nice thing for me to go on my own, but it was sad for me to see so many mechanics disappear at that time. All the mechanics at East Coast Marine are gone and doing something else. A lot of the mechanics that worked at my Boston Whaler dealer are no longer mechanics, are doing something else. So this region has really lost a lot of good guys. Yeah. They went on to do other things, just like the COVID did. There's guys that moved on during COVID, and this region is really hurting. You know, for certain good certified guys. Yeah, and that's why we come here. You know. Yes. So.
That's good. So you're looking at what, 40 years experience, as a master tech, and just
with working at those other dealers, I did get certified Yamaha at the time, and Honda, Johnson & Root. You know, so I had my hands in everything because each dealer I worked for worked on different products.
And today we put you to test on the Suzuki.
Suzuki, yes. I'm not that familiar with Suzuki. They are a good product. I'm just not familiar with them as much I am with the other ones, you know.
We're going to get back into the water pump install, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Bob K Marine in Spring City, PA is your one-stop shop for all marine services, from bass boats to bow riders, 2- and 4-stroke outboards to large block inboards. Our certified staff can repair just about anything. Bob K. Marine also offers electronics installation, winterization and shrink wrap, plus fiberglass and gel coat repair. Visit Bob K. Marine today for all your marine service needs. Salt Weather is the ultimate marine forecast app. With Salt Weather, you get forecasts from 4 different models on one screen. Chlorophyll and sea surface temperatures, waypoints, distance measuring, plus a whole lot more at a fraction of the cost of other services.
I always put this seal on these gaskets. I just feel more comfortable. It slows down corrosion. It just perfect seal radiation seal. It just helps, you know. I feel, and it feels. I think it helps with these thin aluminum areas corroding. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna put. Because me and you had to deal with this, the dowel's got to go back in. So.
Yep.
Me and you were trying to get the carrier out, right? So we're going to put these dowels back in.
Just tap them in then, or?
Yeah. Surprising that they came out. Everything else is corroded, but they fall out. Isn't that funny? Things that you don't really care about, you know what I mean?
It was our luck.
On that. And we grease them so they come out, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they move properly, so, all right. These keys, what I do is I kind of give it a, you know, push in the top of it so it can line up on that impeller.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
There you go. Beautiful. Back in the day, they used to say soapy water. I use grease. I use grease with Teflon. I'll tell you why. When it first starts up and there's no water in there, I got some lubricant for my brand new. Like I said, it has a lubricant for it to, you know, to start with. Here again, you want to notice I love this stuff. It doesn't get hard either, by the way. It stays pliable. And on fuel fittings, gas and oil will not permeate it. You know?
Yep. So that's the reason we originally found the problem was we were rotating our water pumps every other year.
We were doing a coolant service.
So why should somebody change their water pump that frequently?
Well, after about 2 to 3 years, they get old and they get dry rotted, and they end up, you know, like you see it here where it's starting to crack, and then you'll lose water pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you know, it's 2 to 3 years. If you're a freshwater guy that doesn't run aground, you know, you can get 3 years out of it. If you're a saltwater fisherman, you know, that hit a sandbar or two slightly, you sucked up some sand in the life, you know, that year, take a mental note and get it done every 2 years.
Which is what the plan we're on. We rotate an engine a year. So
yeah, the guy up in the Great Lakes can get 3 years if he's not hitting any sand. You know, the guy in South Jersey, you know how it is. It seems to change. You know, the center of the channel.
So how often does somebody come in here with engine trouble and it ends up being a water pump?
When they do, it's usually catastrophic because they overheat the motor. If it's a 4-stroke, they usually end up with water in the oil. They burn a head gasket or something. A 2-stroke, I've seen 2-strokes burn to the point they never did idle right again. it depends on the how bad you go.
Yeah, yep.
It can be detrimental to the motor. It could change the whole running of the engine after you overheat it.
So I mean,
This is good insurance.
yeah.
It's,
So you're not looking at what, maybe $100 total to do a
yes.
water pump? So
Yeah.
for peace of mind, it makes perfect sense to have it done every other year.
Yeah, and that's why I call it a coolant service, because I do the water pump impeller or the water pump assembly, depending on what you need, and the thermostat.
Yep.
Why? Because the salt water runs through the thermostat, just like it does this. The sand runs through the thermostat. So
Yep.
we do a coolant service. We don't call it a water pump shop.
Yep.
Because it goes hand in hand.
Now that the new water pump is installed, it's time to do pressure and vacuum testing.
Now, the reason why I'm picking the bottom one, the vacuum test, is because it's a flush surface. I don't always go for the bottom, but it's a nice flush surface to put the pressure test vacuum test. I learned it from Mike Anthony. Was my TAM. He was my TAM when I was. All right, no matter what the book says, I only go to 10 psi. Anything after that, you're just putting more pressure on it, and forcing things to do it, I just go to 10.
We're just looking for it to hold that pressure, right?
Yeah, if you have a leak, I always check where the fitting is first, Then at that time, you want to turn your shaft in the clockwise position. And you just want to verify you don't have any drop. You see the prop shaft spinning, so we're testing those seals. And then you turn your shift shaft, and you make sure you don't have any serious drop.
And we're still right there.
Yeah. All right, so that's the pressure side. Now, I'm going to check the other seal, and I'm going to do a vacuum. By the way, guys and ladies and gentlemen, is the pressure test that I use is the standard snap-on radiator pressure tester. I just took the cap off of it. And this is a standard vacuum tester that you would use for vacuum your brake fluid, pulling your brake fluid through. And again, I only go to 10. Okay, and then I turn the shafts. Again, clockwise on the water pump. And the shaft is spinning, so we know we're checking that. Right? And we're good. We're at 10.
All right.
Okay. And oil level. So you fill it to here, cap it off. Fill it to here, cap it off, and then fill it to there and cap it off. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me on this one, just like an old, an old Chrysler outboard or an old Jeep.
So what you do is you fill from the bottom, wait till it overflows.
Yeah,
Put the top cap in.
yeah. That creates a vacuum.
Okay.
So when you take the bottom off, it don't come flying out on you, right? For a while, the older Volvo stern drive demanded GL5,
Yep.
I do stock the GL5 if the guy definitely wants it in his Volvo stern drive. I just want to make sure there's no bubbles coming out of here, guys. That's
So
all.
you're looking that straight run like that means you're happy with everything inside.
Yeah, technically you should do it in the upright position like this. It should be leaning up. I mean, this is another thing I do. It's just me, guys and gals. Is I use a wrench with a hex, and I always give it a snug. I just don't do it by hand. I am 60 now, and my torque isn't as good as it used to be, so I make sure, you know?
And now we're going to look for it to come out that top one. And there we got good flow, which tells us that our gear case is full.
You guys that have Suzuki, remember this is up here. It's hard to see, by the way. You can't see like on an angle. You really don't see it. So.
Right.
Now, because we put the screw in the top too, or the top one, whatever you have, when I take the bottom out, there should be a little bit amount of oil that comes out. It shouldn't come flying out because you created a vacuum, right? Mm-hmm. So, I got my home adapter back on there. Okay.
And with that, our lower unit reseal is complete, passing the vacuum and the pressure test. Only thing we have to do next is reattach the lower unit to the engine.
Ready? Yeah. Not to line up that chip shaft. I got one. You can line it up. Put it on top. There we go. You go in? Yep. I figured I'd have you do it.
With the lower unit reattached, only thing left to do now is sand, prime, add a couple coats of paint and clear coat, and our lower unit reseal project will be complete. With the painting of the lower unit done, we fired the engine up, gave it a test run. As you can see, everything sounds, looks good. So we consider the reseal project wrapped up. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you at the next one. Small Boat Big Ocean TV is brought to you by Howie T Sport Fishing, Bob K Marine, and Salt Weather, the ultimate marine forecast app. Thanks for tuning into the show this week. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button, click on that notification bell, and for more information on Small Boat Big Ocean TV, make your way over to our webpage, and while you're there, be sure to sign up for our blog to get all the latest behind the scenes info.